A meal of compassion, dining with the homeless, to foster dignity and hope. In the bustling city of New York, where the pace of life often leaves little room for personal connections, lived a woman named Sarah. A successful attorney, Sarah had built her career on logic and reason, yet she harbored a deep-seated belief in the power of empathy and human connection. Inspired by the philosophy of altruism, which posits that individuals have a moral obligation to help others without expectation of personal gain, she sought ways to make a meaningful impact in her community. One crisp December evening, as Sarah walked home from her office, she noticed a man sitting on the sidewalk, his belongings neatly arranged around him. His eyes, though weary, held a quiet dignity. Moved by an impulse she couldn't ignore, Sarah approached him. "Good evening," she said gently. "I'm Sarah. What's your name?" The man looked up, surprised. "I'm James," he replied cautiously. "Would you like to join me for dinner, James?" Sarah asked. "There's a restaurant nearby I've been meaning to try." James hesitated, searching her face for any sign of mockery. Seeing none, he nodded. I'd like that." Together, they walked to an upscale bistro just around the corner. As they entered, the maitre d' raised an eyebrow but, recognizing Sarah as a regular patron, led them to a cozy table by the window. Throughout the meal, Sarah and James engaged in heartfelt conversation. James shared his story. Once a construction worker, he had lost his job after an injury, and subsequently his home due to mounting medical bills. Despite his circumstances, he spoke with eloquence and maintained a hopeful outlook. Sarah listened intently, her respect for James growing with each passing moment. She realized that offering a meal was not just about satiating hunger, but also about acknowledging someone's humanity and worth. After dessert, Sarah asked, "Is there anything else I can do to help you, James?" He paused, then said, "I want to work again, to rebuild my life. But it's hard without an address or references." Inspired by his determination, Sarah decided to take action. She reached out to a friend who managed a local shelter and secured James a place to stay. She also connected him with a nonprofit organization that specialized in helping individuals like James find employment. Over the next few weeks, James's situation improved steadily. With a roof over his head and access to resources, he found a job at a construction firm willing to give him a second chance. His confidence restored, James began volunteering at the shelter, offering support to others facing similar challenges. Sarah's simple act of kindness had set off a ripple effect. Her colleagues, inspired by her example, started a community outreach program, organizing regular dinners where professionals and homeless individuals could share a meal and stories, fostering understanding and compassion. This initiative drew attention from local media, sparking a citywide movement. Restaurants opened their doors to those in need, and citizens from all walks of life volunteered their time and resources. The barriers between the housed and the homeless began to dissolve, replaced by a shared sense of community. Sarah reflected on the experience, recalling the words of philosopher Peter Singer, who argued that if we can prevent something bad from happening without sacrificing anything of comparable moral importance, we ought to do it. She realized that while grand gestures have their place, it's often the small, intentional acts of kindness that create the most profound impact. James's journey from the streets back to stability underscored the importance of seeing beyond societal labels and recognizing the inherent worth of every individual. By extending a hand to one person, Sarah had unknowingly ignited a movement that transformed countless lives. In a world where indifference can be as chilling as the winter wind, Sarah's story serves as a reminder that warmth and compassion are within everyone's power to give. By embracing the philosophy that we are all interconnected, we can create a society where no one is overlooked and everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Moral: acts of kindness, rooted in empathy and respect, can transform lives and inspire a more compassionate society.